roared as the bubble collapsed, shearing through the already weakened keel, tearing through steel bulkheads and decks. Seawater from the plume fell onto Wortman like rain. As he pushed himself to his feet, pain shot through his right leg again. He looked down, spotting a 6-inch-long gash in his thigh, bleeding profusely. He had landed against a metal stanchion plate, slicing into his thigh. He looked for Neil, but he was nowhere to be found. He must have been launched overboard when the ship lurched upward. Wortman ripped his shirt off and tied it around his thigh to stem the bleeding. With a hand on the railing, he pulled himself up and resumed his trek toward the watertight door and his battle station. But he stopped after his first step. Not far ahead, a crack had opened in the destroyer, splitting the ship in half, and the deck began slanting down toward the opening. The keel had been broken, and water was flooding into the ship. It took only a moment for Wortman to realize what was about to happen. Steedham was going to the bottom. He held on to the topside railing as the deck angle steepened. The ship's engines went dead. Then the lighting in the forward half of the ship flickered and extinguished, followed by darkness aft. The ship then sheared completely in half. Both halves remained afloat for the moment, their tilt steadily increasing as the bow and stern rose in the air. Crew members began streaming topside. In the darkness, with their ship and surrounding water lit only by a half moon, he could barely see them. But he heard their frantic shouts, followed by splashes as they jumped into the water. Wortman's feet started slipping on the deck as the stern pitched upward. He realized he must have stood frozen where he was, a hand on the railing, as he took in the scene and what it portended for his future. He searched for a life preserver or other flotation device nearby, but none could be located in the weak moonlight. The deck angle steepened, forcing Wortman to grab onto the railing with both hands, and the stern began descending into the water. He was running out of time. He'd have to jump overboard, a 20-foot drop. He glanced over the side to ensure he wouldn't land on any flotsam, then lifted his right leg over the railing. Holding his breath, he flipped himself over the side and plunged into the dark water. After orienting himself, spotting the shimmering moon on the ocean's surface, he swam toward the light. He finally broke the surface and gasped for air, treading water as he assessed his predicament. The stern continued its descent, accompanied by loud metallic groans as air trapped within its compartments compressed and bulkheads deformed. He knew it was a sound he would never forget. Steedham's death throes as it descended into the ocean depth. Wortman suddenly realized his proximity to the ship was a threat to his survival. Once the stern completely slipped into the water, its submergence would supposedly create a swirling vortex, sucking any nearby debris and sailors deep beneath the surface. It was occasionally a topic of debate among shipmates whether the vortex pulling sailors to their doom was fact or fiction, but he figured it was better to not take the chance. He started swimming away, deciding to keep going until he no longer heard the sounds of Steedham's demise. While he swam, pain shot through his right leg with each kick, but he slowly pulled away from the stern. As he kept swimming, his arms and legs began to chill. He was losing too much blood. He felt lightheaded and stopped to catch his breath. He scanned the area for other crew members and, more important, a flotation device of some sort. Anything to hang on to until a rescue effort arrived. He spotted nothing. While he treaded water, his arms and legs tired, and he soon had difficulty keeping his head above the waves. He called for help, but his shouts were weak, and he received no response. The metallic groans from the sinking stern faded, and a calm returned to the sea, punctured only by the sporadic voices of shipmates in the distance. After discerning which sound was closest, he swam toward it. But his muscles were already fatigued, and he didn't get far before he stopped. The choppy waves began to pass over his head, and he struggled to keep his face above water. When the next wave passed, he didn't resurface. He stroked upward, but his kick and arm stroke didn't have much